Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter. Sorry for late guys. I had to make a call this morning and it couldn't wait. It was a very important call, so held me back a little bit. Hey, good morning, Denise. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show, no filter, are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good.
Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, baby. Giving you these thoughts, views, and opinions, making sure backsides covered, no diddy. Shout out to the Wake and Bakers and the Coffee Crew. From YouTube to Spotify, I love all my subscribers. Can't forget about the trolls in the comments. Thank you for putting extra eyes on the content. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. What is we talking about today? Good morning, Grandma Kathy. I see you in the building. Renee, Lazy Baby, Brandy. Who else we got in here? Don't be shy. It's a blizzard. It's a blizzard in Cleveland too. D says there is a blizzard in NY. It's a blizzard in Cleveland right now. Grand Rising, everybody. Afternoon, everybody. What we got going on today? It's so much shit going on in the news. It's hard to keep up with. What do we got on here? I was the first one to say it, but now there's more people talking about the Epstein.
Is now being linked to the Epstein files.
Check this out.
Trapmore Gang, the kidnapping of Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy Guthrie, has sparked a whole lot of questions about some very suspicious things. The kidnapping itself is now being linked to the Epstein files. Some of Savannah Guthrie's reporting on Jeffrey Epstein and actually being involved with the victims of Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking is now being called into question, and a lot of people are wondering if this situation is actually directly linked to Jeffrey Epstein, the Epstein files, and the efforts to basically shut down anybody putting out information about.
Now, if y'all recall, if you follow me on social media, I talked about how I felt like this Nancy Guthrie situation, the missing grandma, I said that I was hearing rumblings that this was a had connected to the Epstein files. Man, I'm gonna tell you how. Basically, and now more people are starting to talk about it. So I must be on to something, because basically, so Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Savannah, who is a well-known anchor, news person, Today Show, she helped a lot of the victims, gave people a platform. For the Epstein, namely Virginia, the young lady Virginia who mysteriously passed. She gave her and just gave a lot of used her platform to call out the Epstein people, the files, and everybody. And so, what people are alleging is that somehow the Epstein, they're doing this because of that. They snatched the grandmother in order to silence her and also send a message to anybody else that if you keep covering the Epstein files, we will get at you. Explosive stuff here, y'all. Savannah, everybody should know Savannah. That's her daughter. That's Nancy's daughter. When I said it, I thought it made a lot of sense, but there weren't many people saying it at the time that this was connected to Epstein. So I put the story out there, left it alone, and what do you know? A couple weeks later, we got everybody saying it now. I'm trying to locate. Man, this Epstein files. And so let's talk about some of the notable things that Savannah Guthrie did, some of the notable coverage she did. Now, in 2019, there was a Dateline NBC interview that she did with Epstein's accusers. This is one of the most substantive pieces of Guthrie's coverage, and this came long before the recent DOJ file releases. Way before that. In 2019, Savannah Guthrie hosted a Dateline special titled Reckoning. That featured Virginia Roberts Giuffre. I always get her last name. I always mispronounce her last name. Virginia Giuffre or whatever. We're gonna just say Virginia. And one of the Epstein's, and of course, she's one of the Epstein's most prominent accusers, along several other survivors. Now, in that interview, Virginia described being forced to have sex with Epstein and others, including allegations involving powerful figures such as Prince Andrew. And we know what the hell just happened to Prince Andrew. Guthrie also spoke with former Palm Beach police chief Michael Reiter, who criticized how prosecutors handled Epstein's earlier case, calling it the worst failure of the criminal justice system, and also documented how operations allegedly worked. She did a full interview with Virginia. Now, what was described in this interview? Three things. She went into how Epstein allegedly recruited and groomed victims. They also detailed where and when the abuse occurred. And they also detailed the roles of associates like Ghislaine Maxwell and exposed the entire system, the whole Epstein system. Now, in early 2026, Guthrie has been in the news regarding her missing mother's case, and some social media posts have tied her reporting on Epstein with her family situation. But someone's saying if we got breaking news right now, literally. Let me look up that. You said Prince Andrew's house is on fire. Let me check into that right now live. What are they doing? Burning evidence? So it says here from the Express News, fire engines spotted arriving at Andrews Windsor's home. The emergency vehicle was spotted arriving on the Sandringham estate this afternoon. At 12:25 p.m., one drove up the lane with its blue lights. One of the fire engines drove up the lane with its blue lights and siren blasting. With another response vehicle behind it. A second fire engine arrived shortly afterwards. One witness said there were no police or security around. The fire engine just suddenly arrives. They all went in and came out perhaps 5 or 6 minutes later. No one had an idea what was going on. It appears to have been a false alarm as the vehicles left shortly after arriving. So I guess this is a false alarm, or who knows what the hell was going on. When you're dealing with people caught up in these Epstein files, I don't believe in no damn false alarm. Tasha said they was burning evidence. Yeah, very convenient. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, you got a fire. And so another thing that makes this seem kind of crazy is police searched Andrew's former home a day after his arrest. Did his other home catch on fire? Andrew Windsor, former prince, remains under investigation, which means he has neither been charged nor exonerated by the police. British police searched the former home of Andrew Windsor for a second day after questioning him on suspicion of misconduct in public office linked to his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. The search of the disgraced royal former's Royal Lodge home on the Windsor estate continued on Friday, one day after the 66-year-old was released under investigation after being held by police for 11 hours over allegations that he sent confidential government documents to the late convicted sex offender Epstein. During his time in custody, police had raided Wood Farm on the sprawling grounds of the King's Sandringham estate, where he is currently living in his former home, the 30-room Royal Lodge residence in the parkland near Windsor Castle, west of London. Unmarked vans, believed to be police vehicles, were seen entering the grounds of Windsor all throughout Friday morning. Former Prince Andrew, like I said before, remains under investigation, which means he has neither been charged or exonerated. They on his ass. The king issued a rare and personally signed statement insisting the law must take its course, seeking to project a business as usual air on one of the most tumultuous days in the modern history of United Kingdom's royal family. Now, of course, former Prince Andrew has always denied any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. But we ain't buying that. But the release of millions of documents by the United States government showed the friendship continued long after Epstein was convicted of soliciting prostitution from a minor in 2008. Epstein was convicted of soliciting prostitution from a minor in 2008. Do you know how many celebrities, not just Prince Andrew or the former Prince Andrew, every celebrity, every politician, all of them still continue to deal with Jeffrey Epstein anyway. That is unbelievable, y'all. And most people think everything went down with Jeffrey Epstein like 2018 and 2019, when in actuality, he was convicted of doing this shit with a minor in 2008. Unfreaking believable. And after 2008, after this guy it was public knowledge that Epstein did predatory stuff with minors. And even after that, former Prince Andrew shared British government reports with Epstein while serving as the government's special representative for trade and investment. The reports related to investment opportunities in Afghanistan and assessments of Vietnam, Singapore, and other places he had visited. It's a dirty, dirty game. Thames Valley's Assistant Chief Constable Oliver Wright said in a statement on Thursday that officers had now opened a full investigation into the Office of Misconduct in the Public Office. A conviction for misconduct in a public office carries a maximum life sentence, life in prison. It never gets it never gets old. See, Tuck says, is it really unbelievable though? I feel you. This has become normal, which is even scarier. In 2022, the King's brothers settled a civil lawsuit brought in by U.S. by the late Virginia Giuffre, who accused him of sexually abusing her when she was a teenager at properties owned by Epstein or his associates. Now, remember, we see Virginia's name a lot in these files. It's pretty well known that something happened to that girl. She got offered money and settlements from different guys. Prince Andrew, former Prince Andrew being one of them. Now remember, this is the same Virginia now that Savannah Guthrie gave a platform to. Is that coincidence, or is somebody mad at Savannah and trying to stop her with all this new Epstein files coming out? Is somebody trying to stop her from continuing the fight and continuing to use her platform to bring light to this nasty Epstein's junk? Thames Valley has previously said it was also reviewing allegations that a woman was trafficked to the UK by Epstein to have a sexual encounter with Andrew. Lord. For those in the back that may not have heard that, Thames Valley Police has said that they are also reviewing allegations that a woman was trafficked to the UK by Epstein to have a sexual encounter with Andrew. Thursday's arrest was not even related to that allegation. By the time they through with former Prince Andrew's ass, he gonna be toast. He's gonna be toast. In 2022, former Prince Andrew, like I said, settled with Virginia. Other police forces are also conducting their own investigations into the Epstein links to UK, including the assessment of flight logs at airports. They are coordinating their work within a national group. On Friday, London's Metropolitan Police said it was assessing, with help of the U.S. counterparts, whether the capital airports, which include Heathrow, may have been used to facilitate human trafficking and sexual exploitation. It also said that it is asking past and present officers who protected Prince Andrew to consider carefully whether they saw or heard anything that may be relevant to the investigations. As of now, it is said no new criminal allegations have been made regarding sexual offenses within its jurisdiction. The arrest of the senior royal, eighth in line to the throne, is unprecedented in modern times. The last member of the royal family to be arrested in the UK was Charles Sr., who was beheaded in 1649 after being found guilty of treason. beheaded. Oh my God. Hey, look, times was different back in 1649. They just chopping your head off. He got beheaded. But I keep saying, and we keep making the point, how is it that the UK is making more effort to hold people accountable than we are doing right here in the United States of America, where this Epstein shit started? How you pronounce it? Heathrow? Okay, good. Thank you. It's Heathrow. Yep, thank you so much. So it's Heathrow and it's Thames. Okay. Thank you, Thames Valley. Appreciate the chat. And someone else who's being brought up. I'm glad somebody in the chat just brought it up. Another person that I brought up a long time ago, Naomi Campbell. And what did Naomi Campbell do? Her name is all through these Epstein emails. This is from People Magazine. Naomi Campbell gave Jeffrey Epstein access to A-list parties and fashion events, but he didn't let her use his private jet. Redacted emails from the Epstein files show that Naomi Campbell and Jeffrey Epstein were in contact during the final 2 decades of his life. Naomi Campbell maintained a friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, as the two would speak on the phone and meet in person over the years, according to documents released by the U.S. Department of Justice. Naomi Campbell invited Epstein to her birthday party in Saint-Tropez, a fashion event in Paris, and a fundraiser for children in Moscow while he was under house arrest for soliciting a minor. Naomi Campbell invited Epstein to her birthday party in Saint-Tropez, a fashion event, which was a fashion event in Paris, and a fundraiser for children in Moscow. And she invited him all while he was under house arrest for soliciting a minor. This has so many levels of fucked upness. First of all, he's already been convicted of soliciting a minor, and you inviting him to your birthday party. And not only are you inviting him to your birthday party, this is a fundraiser for children in Moscow, and you inviting somebody who violated children in the worst way. Taja said, yeah, a child's event. Man, this shit, the more you dig into this, the worse it gets. How are you inviting a child predator to a child event after he's been convicted? This ain't no alleged. This ain't allegedly. In January 2016, 8 years after Epstein was convicted of soliciting minors, according to emails between Epstein and an unnamed person, Naomi Campbell unsuccessfully asked to use Epstein's private jet. And a few days later, his staff member wrote that she was unable to reach the model or get her to respond to messages. Documents released by the U.S. Department of Justice appear to show progression and possible demise of the unlikely friendship between Jeffrey Epstein and Naomi Campbell during the final 2 decades of his life. The convicted pedophile and supermodel spoke on the phone. Met in person, invited each other to VIP events. Now let's talk about that Saint-Tropez. That was Epstein. Epstein was invited. That was 2004. That was a birthday party in Saint-Tropez. Now, at the party, the party was at a Dolce & Gabbana store in Paris. It was celebrating her 25 years with the brand and a neon event she co-hosted with Dasha, the then wife of Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich, in Moscow. The invites to the Paris and Moscow events were both sent in 2010, just a year after Epstein was released from jail after pleading guilty to soliciting a minor. A member of Campbell's team wrote in an email sharing details of the party, saying, "I will be on the door if there are any problems." As for the event in Moscow that took place while Epstein was still under house arrest and was for Neon, a charity created to benefit children's health and education programs throughout Russia, according to the invitation. Then in January 2016, according to the emails between Epstein and an unknown person, Campbell requested to use Epstein's private jet to travel to Miami, but Epstein declined and didn't let her use it. Now, a majority of the Campbell files released by the DOJ are call sheets, schedules, and emails. All 3 were maintained by Epstein's assistants, which during this time frame included Sarah and Leslie. One of the messages said, "Please call Naomi Campbell. She is in Spain, but she is up." This was in 2015, May 29th. Years earlier, Kellen reached out to Campbell on September 27, 2011, ahead of her boss trip to Europe, and said, "Hi, Naomi. Jeffrey is in Paris and wondering if you are around as well." Just way too much talking to a pedophile for me. Way too much conversation. And if you let Naomi Campbell, if you listen to her, she says she don't know anything. She says she don't know anything at all. Yet you are inviting this person all over the world, but you don't know nothing that's going on in this person's life. Come on now. Who believes that? Anybody in the chat believe that? Does anybody in the chat believe that? But I believe Naomi Campbell has spoke out. All this speaking out, but she's not gonna admit what the hell she's been doing. I just can't believe that a woman. I can't believe that a woman would. I can't believe a woman would move like that, like inviting Epstein to children fundraisers. Are you kidding me? Someone convicted. Now, we're not even talking about alleged. We're not talking about allegations. We're talking about actually convicted. And so, and you still deal with this guy. But from the Madam Memoir, Naomi Campbell, this is from the Madam Memoir, celebrity. Naomi Campbell speaks out after name appears in Epstein files. She says, "Don't come at me." They say Naomi Campbell returned to Instagram February 15th to address scrutiny over past ties to Jeffrey Epstein after newly unsealed documents mentioned her nearly 300 times. She returned to Instagram on February 15th to once again address the scrutiny over her past connection to disgraced financier Epstein, and newly sealed related documents mentions the supermodel nearly 300 times, according to the New York Times, with records revealing the catwalk legend's history with the disgraced figure. I said it in 2019, and I'll say it again now. Don't come at me when there is no wrongdoing on my part, she wrote. Per Complex, referring to the period when her name first surfaced publicly following Epstein's arrest. I stand in complete solidarity with the courageous survivors, she added. Naomi Campbell, I'm sorry to say, y'all, she is full of shit. She's full of shit. D says, did you see Uncle Luke's interview? He said he was at a party years ago at Mar-a-Lago. He left because of underage girls walking around unclothed, sex going on. He thought it was a setup. Wow. I saw a clip of that. I didn't get to see this clip, D. But D did. Let me tell all the listeners. There was an Uncle Luke for rap artist, Uncle Luke from back in the day. Y'all remember Uncle Luke? He had wild parties, but he always had women of age. D is referring to this interview he did where he said he was at a party years ago at Mar-a-Lago that he ended up leaving because it was underage girls walking around with no clothes on and people were having sex. He thought he was being set up. People are just getting exposed left and right. Now, Naomi Campbell, how can you just say, don't come at me, when years after he was convicted, you was inviting this man, Mr. Epstein, all over the place? Now you want to get mad at us because we looking at you? That's she sounds guilty even with that type of response. And why weren't you standing in complete solidarity with the survivors after his original conviction in 2008? When we think about what Uncle Luke said about he was at a party in Mar-a-Lago and left because of the underage girls and all this stuff was going on, there's no way Naomi Campbell didn't know what was going on. There's no way. But like many celebrities and many of the elite, she didn't give a shit. She just wanted private planes and money. People in the chat are saying they don't believe one single word that Naomi is saying. Recently released email exchanges indicate Campbell requested to travel on Epstein's jet. We talked about that, but they also talked about they plan to meet him. I'm talking about Epstein at his New York mansion. What was she bringing girls? What was the deal? What was the deal? The model issued a statement on Sunday. Okay. Speaking out after newly unsealed files tied to the Epstein. Campbell's attorney says and maintains that she was unaware I don't believe your attorney. I don't believe Naomi. I don't believe any of them. Now they're saying that Naomi Campbell previously condemned his actions in 2019, stating that what he has done is indefensible, and adding, "When I heard it, it sickened me to my stomach just like everybody else." Campbell also shared, "I've had my fair share of sexual predators. I stand with the victims." 2019, yet Epstein was convicted of minor victims of having solicited minors in 2008. So we had to wait, what, 10, 11 years? Once everything hit the fan and Epstein was pretty much vanished. Now you want to stand with the victims? Yeah, D said modeling industry was used to recruit these girls. Naomi knew. She definitely knew. Naomi definitely knew. Let's see what we got here. Campbell first publicly addressed the controversy in 2019, shortly after uh, shortly after Epstein's arrest. She posted a YouTube video responding to a report by Daily Mail that linked her to Epstein, as well as other controversial figures, and questioned her philanthropic efforts ahead of an honor from the British Fashion Council. And I'm quoting her here. "I was shocked by the article in the Daily Mail on Sunday. I've always said that I'm not a saint, that I am a work in progress, but I will not be held hostage by my past," Campbell said at the time. "I won't be undermined or have my team be undermined for all of the wonderful and great work and for all of the people that have collaborated and supported the cause that Fashion for Relief chooses each year." She rejected the outlet's description of fashion for relief as a vanity charity, calling the piece a distorted piece of journalism and a direct character assassination, and belongs in like an Orwell book. She also said she was not given an opportunity to comment before publication. In that same video, Campbell confirmed she met Epstein at her birthday party, but denied any knowledge of his crimes. Yeah, right. Nah, Naomi Campbell, I'm sorry, I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Where is this? Let's see.
Thank you for sitting down with me, Naomi, and let me talk to you today. But I'm not happy about the subject. I've known you for some time, so I know it's important to hear your point of view on the Mail on Sunday. How do you feel?
I was shocked by this article in Mail on Sunday. I've always said that I'm not a saint, that I am a work in progress, but I will not be held hostage by my past. Passion for Relief is something that came to my mind in 2005. We started with Hurricane Katrina. We've helped the floods in Japan. We worked with the great association Save the Children. We worked with Sarah Brown, the former Prime Minister's wife, Gordon Brown's wife, White Women Alliance, maternal health, Ebola crisis, the floods in UK. I mean, it goes on. I'm not going to stop. And I won't be undermined or have my team be undermined for all the wonderful and great work and for all the people that have collaborated and supported the cause that Passion for Relief chooses each year.
Why would anyone be surprised to hear that you're being honored as a humanitarian?
I mean, it was, again, very disappointing to hear and to see the way they wrote about that. To focus on the negative and say this is a vanity charity. There's no vanity about it.
Do you think it's fair to draw you into the Charles Taylor story when you were only a witness?
Are y'all buying it? Are y'all buying that shit she's selling? Because I'm not. I've even heard that Ashton Kutcher is now, his name has came up in the Epstein files. Did anybody else hear that? Let's see. Y'all know Ashton Kutcher always had, he's had young girl allegations since that 70s show. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he even kissed an underage girl on the set, and it was all orchestrated. But they've been keeping Ashton Kutcher's name out of this for the most part. Okay, so I wasn't the only one. Sharon said she heard. Who could forget when Ashton Kutcher, this is from Channel 5, LA's own, Ashton Kutcher had to resign from anti-child sex abuse organization following backlash of Danny Masterson letters. Ashton Kutcher has stepped down from his role as a chairman of the board for his anti-child sex abuse organization. The organization posted the letter to his blog saying that Ashton Kutcher was resigning. That resignation came days after Kutcher and his wife, actress Mila Kunis, received backlash for writing character letters on behalf of fellow That 70s Show actor Danny Masterson before he was sentenced to grape. And Danny Masterson, y'all know he got caught up in all kind of violating women and young women, and that was Ashton's boy. Ashton wrote, after my wife and I spent several days of listening, personal reflection, learning, and conversations with survivors and the employees and leadership at Thorn, I have determined the responsible thing for me to do is resign as chairman of the board, effective immediately. Kutcher wrote, I cannot allow my errors in judgment to distract from our efforts and the children we serve. As you know, I've worked for 15 years to fight for people who sexually exploit children. Yeah, but Ashton, you was at them Diddy parties too. Don't forget that. Yep, this was about a year. Yep. Now, y'all, if y'all don't know, let me refresh y'all real quick on his boy Danny Masterson, just to see how, so you can see how Danny Masterson, this is Ashton's boy. Danny Masterson was the one who got 30 years to life for grape after emotional victims left statement after statement at his trial. This is from ABC News. Former That 70s Show actor Danny Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for raping 2 women. Two counts of forcibly raping. And this was Ashton's right-hand man on That 70s Show. In the emotional remarks, Jane Doe called for a life sentence for Masterson and said she wished she had reported him to the police sooner. Jane Doe too said she forgave Masterson and his sickness is no longer her burden to bear. Just a sick individual. And Ashton Kutcher, for that to be your right-hand man, that's pretty wild. Let's go to the chat. Renee said, I heard about Ashton and Leonardo DiCaprio too. This shit is vile as fuck. It's true. So true. Hollywood is just getting exposed day by day by day by day. And as much as I knew that Hollywood was up to craziness, I didn't know it was this crazy. I'm gonna be straight honest with you. Like, this is like PDF file, and y'all know what I mean when I say PDF file. This is like PDF file to the max. it's getting to the point where I'm not asking who was on the list or who's on the list. I'm asking who's not on the list, who's not in the files. That is actually the better question. Seems like it's a shorter list of celebrities who actually weren't on there. I want that list. I want the list of the celebrities who weren't involved or weren't at the island or never been to the island. That's the list I'm waiting for. Because as far as the list of people who were involved, the list is longer, gets longer every day. Every single day. Somebody said there's a good picture of Ashton at that white party. Somebody in the chat said there's a good picture of him at the white party. Yeah, everybody knows that famous picture. Ashton. Birds of a feather flock together. This stuff just leaves you speechless, man. It's just like to see what people have been going through and mostly been going through it in silence. Because for a long time, these celebrities and elites had this shit on lock where you wouldn't even hear about this stuff. You didn't have a platform to get the word out. And to think about all these victims and all these celebrities who got away with murders for so long is really, 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 really disheartening. It really is. I don't know, y'all. What do y'all think about this? Hit me up in the fan mail. Leave some thoughts. I might read it on the show about this whole Epstein situation, whatever angle, the UK angle, Naomi Campbell, the different celebrities, the Epstein conspiracies, whatever you want to say, put it in the fan mail and leave it, man. All I can say is at least we have some type of accountability going. I mean, I'm not satisfied by a long stretch, but if we keep plugging and chugging, who knows? We may eventually get the justice that we are all desperately looking for. Flow Show No Filter every Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. We will continue to cover this and other stories like this. Sometimes this stuff just is deflating. And today, just thinking about all these victims and all this hell everybody got to go through to get some type of accountability just don't seem right.
Swan.
It's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Flow Show, baby. Giving you these thoughts, views, and opinions, making sure backsides covered, no diddy. Shout out to the Wake and Bakers and the Coffee Crew. From YouTube to Spotify, I love all my subscribers. Can't forget about the trolls in the comments. Thank you for putting extra eyes on the content. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in. Yeah, it's the Flow Show. No filter. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tap in.
Another great showdown. And as always, I love y'all. But I'm out.